What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben, and welcome back to the bench for a brand new episode here on Military Mondays. Today we are cracking into our 1/48 scale Re.2005, and I'm hoping to go ahead and get a lot of work done on the cockpit. Start doing some painting, some priming, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right on in here, guys. I've taken some time and gone through my reference stash and found a couple of nice books, so I've got those queued up here in PDF on my phone. I checked over the parts, and I think they look pretty decent, but I am going to have to add in a couple of extra spare parts. So let's go ahead and jump into our first time lapse. I want to start on the cockpit, do some basic assembly. I want to add in some of the details here from the kit, but also I want to start stringing in some wires with some 0.3mm solder and then some smaller diameter wire as well. Once I get all that done, we're going to jump into the spares box and pull out a couple of parts and pieces, try to find some interesting bits of plastic I can help to spice up the cockpit just a little bit, and then we'll be back and I'll show you guys what we come up with. All right, let's get this party started. Let's start having some fun. Alright guys, so we're back and so far so good. The parts have just kind of fallen right into place. I'm very excited to see what this looks like under paint. So first off, we're going to come in with some Mr. Surfacer 50/50 mix with Mr. Leveling Thinner. We're going to overcoat the entire cockpit, all the parts and pieces. Then I'm going to try some kind of zenithal style priming. We're going to take some flat black and kind of shoot it up from the bottom through all the parts to make sure to give a little bit of extra shading. And then we'll come on back with some Gunsy color and start getting that all nicely painted up. Lastly, I do want to go ahead and come in with a little bit of panel line shading with some Tamiya panel line accent. Accentuate those shadows. So let's go ahead and jump in here, guys. Lots of work to do. Let's get this going. All right, so we are done with our painting for the cockpit. I honestly had a ton of fun with that. It's so cool once you start kind of getting the colors on. Everything kind of just popped. But now that we have all the painting nicely taken care of, we're going to move over to the seat and we're going to start adding in some seat belts. And this is going to be a little tricky because the Italian seatbelts of World War II are super complicated. We've got different sized harnesses, different straps. We've got chain link that hooks everything to the chair. I don't know how I'm going to do that because I just spent about an hour off camera attempting to make chain out of wire. It ain't happening. So I'm not really going to go ahead and be able to make something that is purely accurate here. We're going to go for artistic representation. So I'm going to go ahead and replace all of the thin chain with just basic Tamiya tape. so that's going to be fine. We're also going to have to go ahead and just go with our normal seatbelt making procedures. We've got some wire, we're going to bend it into shape. We're going to take some of our Tamiya tape, we're going to thin it down to very small strips, go ahead and loop it all together, wrap it up, tighten it down, and then just secure it with some super glue and attach it to the seat. So that's all basically the same process as I've always done. I did a bit more of a walkthrough on my P38 video, so feel free to check that out. But for right now, we're going to push on, we're going to make up these belts, we're going to get everything painted, and we're going to get it all glued together. So let's go ahead and get back in there, guys. We need to go ahead and get all these seat belts created. That's going to be a bit of a pain. And then lastly, I want to get everything flat coated. So onwards and upwards, guys, we are getting there. Let's go ahead and finish off the episode. And with that, everybody, we are done for the day. As you can see here, we've got our cockpit nicely painted up. We have our sidewalls detailed and painted, so I'm really digging how that's turned out. And of course, we have our instrument panel all nice and ready for installation. Let me go ahead and zoom in, give you a close-up, and check out all the detail here. It's actually a very nice kit, so far, so good. As you can see, we have all the details we've glued in. We did add some wire and whatnot, even added an oxygen tube at the very side here. We've got our different parts painted up. We also have the cockpit floor all nicely painted. I added in the seatbelts, of course, as you saw. I think those are decent enough. They're passable. Not exactly 100% accurate though. Like I mentioned, these right here on the side should actually be chain, as well as this front section right there. That should all be chain. And I spent so long trying to make chain link out of wire. So we're going to go ahead and just run with this, and I think it looks just fine. Instrument panel looks pretty good as well. I went ahead and added in a couple of extra detail painting on the very inside of each of the dials. Just kind of threw some white lines in there. It's not accurate, but you know what? It's just enough to give you an impression of something being in there, and then I overcoated it with a little bit of future to go ahead and seal them up. So yeah, not too shabby. I'm liking how this is turning out. But that is it, guys. We are all finished up. The cockpit looks awesome. I'm loving how it's turning out. This kit is actually a really nice kit. I'm not having too many problems with it. We've already completed most of the very first couple of steps. Cockpit's all painted up, and we just have to go ahead and install a few extra parts and pieces like the rear tail wheel and maybe a couple of parts in the cockpit as well. So until then, thank you so much for watching. You guys know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on episode number 3 for the Re.2005 by Sword. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.